First game to kick off today, we have the Dolphins and Chiefs playing over in Germany. Currently, right now, the Dolphins are getting a little bit of action their way. The line is creeping down. It was 2.5. Now it's plus 1.5 for the Dolphins. I personally like the Dolphins and the under in this one, and let me explain why. Biggest factor to me in this game is the fact that Kansas City traveled up to Denver. I know it's not far, but they still had to go up to elevation, play a game up there where, oh, by the way, they played terribly. They looked terrible. They played terrible, turned the ball over 5 times in that game, and they lost to the Broncos. Then they had to fly back home, and instead of going to Germany early, they decided to go later in the week. They flew over Thursday night. So then you got to fly over late. It's just not a good recipe for success. We've seen already this year, Baltimore went over on Monday. Tennessee decided to do the Thursday night flight over to London, and Baltimore beat the snot out of Tennessee there. It wasn't even close. Tennessee looked like they didn't even show up, like they stayed in America or something. So that worries me about the Chiefs there. Meanwhile, the Dolphins flew over on Monday. They've been there all week. They've been getting ready. Tyreek Hill has been hilarious this week. He's got the handlebar mustache. He's ready to go. He's the fastest player to 1,000 yards in a season. Miami's got a lot of offense going for them in this game. I think this is going to sound weird, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I don't think Kansas City is going to be able to keep up if Miami starts scoring at will. Kansas City has a good defense. Yes, they do. But defenses aren't sticky week to week as much as you would think. I think Miami has the weapons to be able to exploit this game, and I'm just concerned of who Patrick Mahomes is throwing to outside of Kelsey. Oh, by the way, let's throw this in there. Taylor Swift isn't going to be at this game. I know that's a joke. But really, Kansas City hasn't played that well when she wasn't there. Just saying there might be something to it. Let me take a look at some of these things. You got to remember, this is a revenge game for Tyreek. You know he's had this game circled all season long. You want to bet the under in this game, and here's why. The under in international games in general have a slight edge. They're 22-20, so just slight edge. But when winds are above this season, in games where winds are above 10 miles per hour, the under is 15-4-1. Oh, looky here. We have winds that are going to be about 15 miles per hour. So that gives us a little edge there. Tua is 12-1 all time to Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. His only loss is Andy Reid. So you might be thinking, well, that's not a good sign. Oh, yes, it is. You don't think he wants to get that notch in his belt? You don't think he wants to add that to his resume that he beat Andy Reid? Absolutely. All right. So he's going to do that. Dolphins are averaging a league best 7.3 yards per play this season. Like I said, they're going to move the ball today. They're going to move the ball. They got all sorts of weapons. They're looking good right now. Yeah, the narrative on Dolphins here are, hey, the Dolphins, when they play good teams, they get beat up. Look at what happened when they played the Bills. Look what happened when they played the Eagles. They beat up on bad teams, and they get the snot kicked out of them when they play good teams. Well, I mean, that's a sample size of 2 this season. I'd argue the trip to Buffalo was just a terrible spot for Miami in general. No excuses for the Eagles game. Shit happens, all right? Maybe it's just a matchup issue. And, you know, maybe defensively, Philadelphia and Buffalo, they have a different – there's something schematically that makes it harder for the Dolphins to win those games. Like, maybe they're just more physical. Is that what we see from Kansas City's defense? Are they just that rough and tough physical defense? Outside of trying to run up the middle on them, I don't think so. So, hey, we're going to find out. Tua has never lost in Germany. Have to throw that one in there. Let's see. Oh, by the way, also this stat here was great. Both the Dolphins and the Chiefs are winning their games by an average point of 7 points per game or higher. Teams that are averaging their win margin on games, that both teams are averaging 7 points per game or more, the favorite in that matchup is 40% ATS. Pretty crazy. That's a crazy stat. I don't know who comes up with that stuff or who even thinks to think about that stuff, but that is crazy. By the way, I think I forgot to bookmark that. There we go. Okay. Where am I at? Mahomes is 3-0 on a neutral site, ATS and straight up, which means he's due. He's due to lose. Absolutely. And then Casey turned the ball over. This stat is insane. Kansas City turned the ball over 5 times last week, as I said. So you would think, oh, they're going to probably do way better the next week, right? No, they don't. The following week, after a team has turned the ball over 5 times in a game, the following week they are only 44% ATS that following week, and that's a sample size of 287 games. So it's a pretty decent sample size, I'd say. All in all, I think we got Miami. I think Miami's going to win this one. Miami's going to run away with it, and I like the under. I don't think the Chiefs are going to score a lot in this one. So give me the Dolphins, give me the under, and it's going to be a fun international game. What up, Patriot 4165, buddy? What up? How we doing? How we doing?